Hello techies. Welcome to our brand new video series focused on helping you get the most of your experiences in life. Before we start the video, let's know about Upptalk. Upptalk is a live, interactive platform for software training, furnishing robust personalities who could take on universal business platforms.
What this is going to be. Months since last week increased. This is the other extreme. This is the way we have our fields right. Hire date dependent information manager. We have those kind of fields which are meaningful, logical. So here also, if you use months since last pay increase, then yeah, that is perfect. But any problem with this if we use a second naming convention once since last pay increase, any problems? It looks just like the workload delivered. Fields right. Just like any other field in the system. So what is the problem with that? I mean, not a problem. It will continue to give you the correct data. Any issues you might face later. It could be hard. Okay, Mohan, you speak first. Mohan, you go first. You may not give you A, so another person with it directly. What do you think that it's like? Right? Yes, correct. Yeah, so we may not be able to tell whether it is the calculated field or a Workday delivered field. Isn't it? Isn't it difficult to say yes? Any other thought, any other comment? Yeah, it can be hard. It's not very descriptive. Yes. And it can be challenging to locate. Yes, to look for A. Yeah, maybe instead of months since last pay increase, if somebody had used time elapsed since last increment, right, same thing. It is with the same thing. Time elapsed since last increment. But then just because they are used to different a naming convention or maybe different terms. We are not sure. Right, they okay? Is it a calculated field? Is it a Workday delivered field? And when we are moving things from one environment to another, once we are done with implementation, we are now moving this to production or sandbox. But testing we might easily forget because we might think that okay, yeah, this is a Workday delivered field. So it should be there in the other environment as well. Isn't it? So we might make this mistake? So what we recommend is a hybrid model, right? A middle path. So what we will do in this particular case is, instead of either of the extremes, we will start the calculated with CF. The moment we start something with CF, it tells us, and also the people who are going to use it, that this is a calculated field, right? And it is also a recommendation that we use something to determine the function, to denote the function. So you can have like something like this, date difference, or you can say DD as well. Right, whichever is followed in the organization. So we can say date, or you can write the full date difference, right? And then you can write once in last page. It doesn't make a little bit more sense, right? It is not too lengthy. But you think right. This is better. It is the best of both worlds. We have the description. I mean some meaningful description. And then we know what is the function to use which has been used here. And we know for sure that this is the calculated field, right? So calculated field date difference once in last page increase. The point is, whichever naming convention you follow. You may follow this extreme, very descriptive, very lengthy naming convention. You can follow the very smart, short, crisp naming convention, or you can have a mix of both. But whichever you are following, make sure that the organization has a naming convention, and that we follow it right. So sometimes what happens? We may be working in for one enterprise, and then we are used to one naming convention. We join another job, different company, different people, set of people. They may have their own naming convention, right? They may have one. So what we must do is we must see how they are naming their calculated field. So we must adjust our style also and follow that naming convention. It is not like, okay, whatever I do is the best. No, it's not like that. We have to follow whatever the rest of the people are doing. Okay. So that is about the naming convention. So let's just go and create our first calculated field in one day. And always remember, do not use names like CF test 1. Okay, CF test 2. Can you tell what is test 1 and test 2? What does it do? Is it easy to tell what is test 1? Will you be able to tell after 5 days what is test 1 calculation? Why did you create it? Will you be able to do that? No, right. CF test 1. What were you doing? What was your requirement? Right. Maybe you were working on an assignment. That is fine, but which is right? And what did you create? So it is difficult to remember. So that's why we will use meaningful names whenever we are creating calculated fields. Okay, always do that. So then let me create one. So let's go to Logan McNeil Start Proxy. Let's proxy as Logan. Alright, now what is the task? To create a calculated field. Create calculated field. That's correct. Create. Calculate field, or we'll lovingly call them as calculus fields. Write CLC, because that is what we need to type. CRE field, so we call them as calculus fields. If you work with some integration consultant, etc., people who create calculated fields, very often they will see, yeah, for this we will create a calculus field. That is what we think. That is acronym that people use, a calculus field. Okay, that they're referring to a calculated field. So create calculated field. So you see, first is you have to give a name. Right. So what is the convention we are going to follow? Let's CF. Right. And then let's also use our initials that we have been using. www. And then the function. Right. So let's start with a very simple one. Format text. Alright. And let's give it a name, first name, or maybe the gender. Oh no, not gender. Let's do the first name only.
Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us at sales@upptalk.com.